come into Seattle. 75 have been deployed to Seattle tonight, the other 100.
I am also taking swift and decisive action to protect our great capital, Washington, D.C. What happened in this city last night was a total disgrace. As we speak, I am dispatching thousands and thousands of heavily armed soldiers, military personnel, and law enforcement officers to stop the rioting, looting, vandalism, assaults, and the wanton destruction of property.
Alfred Johnson coming back to you again. Hey, listen, we're bringing the stuff, okay? We're bringing the stuff. And I'm hoping that the younger generation is listening as well. Listen, the older, you should already know. You folks, you've been alive long enough, huh? If you're still voting Democrat and you're an older person, I don't even know what to say to you. When you see these kind of cataclysmic changes that are taking place, and we're going to allow this to happen? We're going to allow these folks to come in and burn down our communities? Is that what's going to happen? And destroy our neighborhoods and have our children fighting? You're not going to improve by burning stuff down. You're not going to improve. The best way to improve, you better get to learning. You better get to growing. I don't want to hear about, well, we're discriminating, we're oppressed. We're oppressed. Listen, our black elders and people that are my age, middle age, and older, you ought to be embarrassed to talk about some oppression of our people when you know what's happened to our forefathers. We are living in unprecedented opportunity times. We just had a black president, for crying out loud. There's a black Supreme Court justice that's on right now. Folks, if we don't wake up and stop this bunch of nonsense, the opportunities are almost unlimited. We dominate just about every athletic sport that requires a bunch of physical activity. Folks, multiple millionaires, multiple billionaires. What? Don't you pass on that hatred to our children. Shame on you. Shame on you. Their opportunities are remarkable. Y'all know the stories of our moms and dads and what they had to go through. Now they had to go through some stuff. What are we going through? These folks will pay for us to go through school. They'll pay for us to go through college. They will get all kinds of certifications. They'll do all kinds of stuff to try to help us. And here we are, just finding a reason to call things oppression, to call things racist. It's just so sad. So sad. Nothing they do is going to help, because there's always going to be something that we're going to misconstrue, or there's always going to be a media that has an agenda that's going to poison the narrative, and then there we go. All they got to do is mention racism, and then there we go. And we got to wake up, everyone. We got to wake up. These folks are using us and they're lying. And we got to wake up. Okay? Listen, I have some more good news to give you about the things that our president is doing, that Donald Trump is doing. Listen, again, I don't back him because he was a movie star or because he's a billionaire or anything like that. I go by principle and outcome, principle and outcome. Plain and simple. Yeah, but he's been married a few times. And what? You're imagining. Are you imagining that in the Democrat Party, you're dealing with folks that just been married once, and it's just, folks, you're dealing with human beings. All I'm wanting them to do is uphold the Constitution as it's written. Do your job that the Constitution assigned you to. That's all I'm concerned about. I didn't ask for the Pope to be in that position. I didn't ask for your church bishop to be the president. I need the president to uphold the laws. That's it. I need the Congress to uphold the Constitution of the United States and to create laws that are in accordance to the Constitution of the United States. And if you're planning on creating a law that's not according to the Constitution of the United States, number one, don't create it. Number two, let the states do it by constitutional amendment. Otherwise, you're abusing your power. You've stepped outside of your role as being our servants to being our masters. And yeah, that kind of stuff I'm going to resist. I want the president to uphold the Constitution and to execute the laws accordingly. Then I measure and judge by their effectiveness and by their principles. That's what I do. I don't care whether they're black, white, Oriental, Indian, I don't care. Okay? Principles and outcome. and constitutionalism. Yes, it is important to me that they do represent. I would love to have every one of our Congress people be sincere Christians. Yeah, but what about separation of church and state? Nonsense, people. The values that we uphold as a country are always religious. All laws are nothing more than the codification of values. When you hear people say we shouldn't legislate morality, well, what do you think laws are? They are the declaration of a people's values, codified, written into law. It's values written into law. All right? Even the speed limit is nothing more than a declaration that we value life. Try to keep your speed under this amount, please. That's how we do it. It's nothing but, now, if we didn't value life, well, we wouldn't care about any of the speeds, any of the lanes you might drive in. Our laws represent a value, and we value life, and we create these lanes and laws and lights and stop signs and stuff like that because we value life, okay? You might say, well, every society does. Now, do they now? Do they now? All right. Hey, well, listen to this. The poverty rate fell to a 17-year low of 11.8% under the Trump administration as a result of jobs-rich environment. The poverty rate fell to a 17-year low. The poverty rate impacts our people in a way that's remarkable. Per capita, there are more per capita, that means per head, there are more blacks in poverty than any other race in this country. Okay? Mexicans, are close. Yeah. Indians, of course, But folks, we occupy a pretty good number of those. And the black and brown, we occupy a lot of that. When you see that the poverty rate fell to a 17-year low, you should literally kick off your shoes and run barefoot around your block about 3 times with your hands in the air, just giving God thanks. This is the good news happening to our people under President Donald J. Trump. I did not give you an opinion just then, everybody. These are documented facts. You can find them yourself. It's not even difficult. Every one of you are carrying a computer in your hand. That cell phone of yours is stronger than any computer that we had when I was a little boy. I remember we had a computer called the TRS-80. And you had to basically, there wasn't even images that you can point to and then it would open up something. You had to tell that computer what to do, logging in letters and lines and stuff. You guys have a computer in your hand more powerful than any computer we had when I was young. You can look up information. But just remember, there's a lot of other misinformation, irrelevant information, and funny cat videos that people put in your way to keep you from discovering the truth. Keep digging, and you can get there. But what I'm giving you are a bunch of facts. The poverty rate fell to a 17-year low. What that means is this. The poverty rate is lower than it was under Obama during his entire 8 years, lower than it was during Bush during 7 of 8 of his years. Okay? This is beautiful. This was done under Donald J. Trump. You should be celebrating. I am. All right, hey, we're going to keep moving on here. You got to hear this. The poverty rates for African Americans and Hispanic Americans have reached their lowest levels since this kind of data has been collected. The poverty rates for African Americans and Hispanic Americans have reached their lowest levels since these records have been collected, since such data has been collected. Now, you might say, well, wait a minute, you just said that at the 17-year low. No, that's for all. That's for the entire country. But specifically for blacks and Hispanics, the poverty rate is the lowest it has been in the history of the United States of America. This has all taken place under Donald J. Trump. It did not take place under Obama, Bush 2, Clinton, Bush 1, Reagan. Donald J. Trump. Historic lows. May God bless the president. And you might say, why are all these policies so effective under Trump? Listen, because he lived in the real world of business, of cause and effect, of invest and sometimes lose and sometimes win and learn. He's sharp as a pen. And you can see that it's men against little boys. And he's the man in that instance. The Congress, the left, the Democrats, it's men with boys. The president is remarkable. The gains that have occurred, even with a hostile House of Representatives, are just remarkable. Wow. How about this one here? The jobs. More than 7 million jobs created since his election. 7 million. Folks, that is huge. Again, that's a reason to really, I'm telling you, to put on those Hawaiian things that go around your neck and put on a Hawaiian shirt, and y'all ladies, whatever, put on y'all Hawaiian skirts and do the whatever dance the Hawaiians do, the lula, the whatever it is they do. That's literally the kind of dancing you need to be doing when you hear these kind of numbers. The hula, what do they call it? I don't know what they call it. Belly roller, whatever they call it. Do it. I mean, literally, dance. I'm literally in your house right now. Listen. Pause this. Put on your Hawaiian outfit, and I want you to dance around your house. Literally dance around your house, and thank God that we have President Trump as president. Folks, when you hear of a 7 million jobs gain, folks, you better wake up. Okay? All right. Well, how about this one? More Americans are now employed than ever recorded before in history. Now, this happened, of course, before COVID. Before this thing. I think it was a planned thing. The president didn't invite the plague. When you hear this stuff on the CNN, the president is like, folks, wake up. This president led the resurgence of our country in a way that no other president ever has. This is remarkable stuff that should have us flat out celebrating. Before this plague broke out, more Americans were employed than ever recorded in the history of our country. Wake up, people. More than 400,000 manufacturing jobs created since his election. More than 400,000. These are items that Obama said, he said that the manufacturing jobs would not return to our country. He said, what magic wand is the president going to, is Trump going to wave to make these manufacturing jobs return? He doesn't realize that there's a difference between you and a successful businessman. This brother used his wisdom, used his knowledge. Next thing you know, manufacturing's returning to our country. We're even talking about auto manufacturing, all in the state of Michigan and Ohio. You have gains in a way that's just absolutely remarkable under this president. Over 400,000 manufacturing jobs. And by the way, we are about to see manufacturing explode. The president has plans to make us the manufacturing headquarters of the world. There's no reason why we shouldn't be. This is the United States of America, the most creative, the most innovative businessmen and businesswomen and entrepreneurs in the world. We're going to watch it happen. Beautiful stuff, everybody. Beautiful stuff. Now, people, these, again, are just a few of the items that the president has accomplished. Those jobs represent your jobs, your children's jobs. Takes a little bit of preparation for them, those manufacturing jobs, but I'm telling you, it means jobs for our people. Blacks and whites, Hispanics, Indians, all of us fellow Americans. These jobs are remarkable. The president, through his trade policies, his tax policies, are bringing these folks back to the shores of the United States of America. They were chased away by both Democrat and Republican lawmakers who had taxes exorbitantly high on the businesses, capital gains taxes, business taxes, all kinds of crazy taxes on businesses. They had to leave our country to go to other countries where taxes were less so that they could survive. Then they would sell their product back into our country. Well, the president went ahead and restructured the taxes, restructured the trade deals. These businesses are now returning to the United States of America, and blacks and Hispanics and whites are being hired onto those jobs. That's what's happening, people. And why in the world would you want something different than that? What do you imagine that Biden, who has been in public service as some form of lawmaker for 47 years, he couldn't get close to these numbers, not even near them. Furthermore, I don't think he ever even worked to make these numbers manifest like this. And folks, I'm not giving you, again, opinions of this stuff. He already has a record. It's a 47-year record. Okay? There's not something that we're making up. What has he done in these regards? The president, in 3.5 years, has brought these things to pass. 400,000 manufacturing jobs. some of which blacks and browns are all up in there. And we're taking care of our families. More Americans now employed than ever before in American history. That's how it was just before COVID, and he's going to get it back there, everybody. Why? Because he knows how. We're watching job gains. The job gains in August were just off the chart. Historic growth in the month of August for job gains. Remarkable. He says that at the end of September, we're about to see something explosive. It represents the end of the third quarter of this year. Folks, we'll go ahead and get ready for it. And you might want to do the hula or do whatever you're going to do, because these numbers are remarkable and you might as well celebrate. So yeah, family, listen. This is the good news that we have for all of our fellow citizens. This is the good news that the president is enacting. This is the stuff that should have people just celebrating. Okay? And again, this is not opinion we're talking about, everyone. This is not about a bunch of opinion. These are laws, these are policies and results. These are outcomes, and they are real. And you're not hearing about it on the news. You ought to be upset. Instead of being upset with me, you know what, he's speaking, I'm speaking for truth. I'm speaking for Christ. And no, I am not going to fall prey to a bunch of nonsense where they want me to speak a certain way because I'm a certain race. No, I want the truth. And you should be demanding it. But instead, many of you are running after that media and listening to a bunch of, I went to a barbershop one time and one of the men in the store said, I hate Trump. And I asked him, why? I just hate him. Well, why do you hate him? I don't know, I just hate him. That's not how men think, everybody. That is all emotional, what is that? And well, he lies so much. I tell you what, give me one of them. Give me one of a substantial lie where the president said he's going to do something and he didn't do it, or he lied about it or misconstrued. Give me something. Of course, nothing. Crickets were in the room. He was still venting, foaming. Nothing. Folks, let's wake up. Now, I need for you to share this to our brothers. I'm giving you stuff that you should be able to tell your friends and your family and let them argue over it. And then y'all go look for the facts. Look for it. You have a computer, go find it. I love you. You don't understand. I respect you. The reason why I'm coming at you just like this is because I do, in fact, love you and I respect you. And I don't like folks stealing the potential that rests in our race. I don't like folks wrestling it away from us with lies and misinformation. We need you. Let's wake up, all right? Love you. Share this with everybody. God bless you now.
I am also taking swift and decisive action to protect our great capital, Washington, D.C. What happened in this city last night was a total disgrace. As we speak, I am dispatching thousands and thousands of heavily armed soldiers, military personnel, and law enforcement officers to stop the rioting, looting, vandalism, assaults, and the wanton